Hey everybody, this is Mitch, and today we're going to solve the mystery of the missing handle. So I have two hose reels for water hoses at the front and the back of the house, and somehow or the other, the one in the back turned up missing. Don't know what happened, how it happened. Probably involved a child of some type doing something. The handle came off and got lost to posterity, whatever it is. So went out to Amazon, thought it'd be pretty easy to find something. Searched Amazon, nothing. Internet, nothing. Well, somebody's made one of these, right? No, they haven't. So then I started down a journey and was like, well, now's the time to enhance my fusion skills. So this is a journey where I actually recreate this handle. This is the one from the front of the house. And so here is how I actually recreated this pretty close, but 100% functional, and learned a few things along the way. So follow along, please. So here's how I started. So I literally went out, I think it was like a Saturday night, and went and just took my pad here and went out and made some rough measurements with a ruler. And I came back later on and changed it over to a caliper so I could get some better readings. And more or less that's what I did. So I used this to actually draw up the model in Fusion. And here is what I ended up with. So this is the first version. It is made out of PLA and it is absolutely perfect. In fact, this would have been just perfectly fine. I would not have used PLA. This is just a prototype to make sure it would work. And the idea here is I just wanted to make sure the shape was functional and it fits the hand perfectly. Because again, the industrial designers designed the other one did a really great job of that. So this is it, but it's smooth and the other one had a texture to it. So I started going down a path of how do I apply a texture. And I didn't find anything on the YouTubes that really showed me what to do. And like all things with YouTube, I find it about 2 weeks after I look for it, which by this point I was already done. So I started doing some prototyping and showing the different things that I was trying to do with these ridges in here. So in the model, remember I made these kind of lines or cuts inside of this to give me a groove, but you just can't physically support that. So I knew it wouldn't be supportable, and so I was trying to see what I could do. I tried different things to be to try and like fill it with something supportable that I could try and work. This is a PLA, but I was trying to make it where I could have the indentation and also be able to make it functional. Because like I said, there was just no way. In fact, I did try one time with supports and this is what I got. Yeah, that ain't coming out at all. So even the part I got off, it still didn't work. And basically, I'm not sure you can really see this, but it makes for a very cool design. And I was just trying to figure out what design could I use in there that would actually make it functional, but also work at the same time. And finally, I just gave up on the whole thing there. And then I had my epiphany. And that epiphany was to actually apply a fillet in a minute. And this is the final product. So as you can see, I applied a fillet to the inside of each one of those grooves that I cut, and it filled it up perfectly. There's no overhang that it needed to fill in, so no supports were necessary. And the way it works is I just take the bolt and I'll put through there. I will put a washer on one end and then on the other, and then this is the part, technically it goes like this. This screws into the handle itself. And that's it. So let's go install it and you'll see how it ends up. Okay, so we are in Fusion. And let me just kind of walk you through how I did this. So as you saw, I took measurements and I've used a thing I'd never used before, which is an offset plane. So we start off with the bottom plane. And then at the first time I need to make a junction, I put another plane in. And then, oops, let me activate it. And then another one and another one. And to make this easier for me to modify, what I did is I created a series of parameters for each of those. So I have a top plane and a bottom plane and a midpoint. And so basically these are all from my drawing that I showed you earlier. And this just allowed me to easily modify the drawing. So I did all that, and then what I did is I created a series of circles, just sketches on top of those planes. Let's turn all those on. And so here are all of the circles that we're going to use to actually tie everything together. So again, just sketching the circle, not extruding that just yet, because we're going to use the loft command, which I think is the right one. And when I loft these from the bottom to the top, it actually created this handle looking device, which is exactly what I was after. And from here, it's just a few short fillets to round off the top and the bottom. Then we have another sketch that I did on the top, and then what I did is I put a hole through the middle for our handle. There we go. And then after that, it is just, you know, kind of keep going, doing your thing. Okay, so the last thing that I did is I needed to create some kind of webbing or whatever, and as I mentioned, I couldn't find an easy way to do knurling or anything like that. Of course, found one later, but it was already done by that point. I didn't want to investigate it. So what I did is I created this circle here, and then I used the pattern tool to replicate it all the way up and all the way back. And then what I did is I chamfered it, or combined it, actually is what I did. Combine everything together, and then this is the thing that took me the longest, is try to figure out, okay, what do I do with these holes? Because as you can see, they're quite deep, and they don't need to be. And I was like trying different things, as you saw, nothing was working, and I was like, okay, well, is there just something I can do with these gaps here? And come to find out is if I put in a fillet, it will actually fill that in with a slight recess that's easily printable. It still provides grip for your hand, and that worked out just especially well. So anyway, so this is how I learned about 3 different things that I had never touched before, and I'm just so happy that it worked out like this. And this is how I made my handle. So all I did is I just exported this out to Bambu Studio, printed it off, and then I'm ready to go. Okay, here we go. Put one washer on, put the handle on, put the other washer on, and it just threads in here like this. You thread it all the way till it stops. Go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a nut on the back just to hold it on. That's what I think happened, is probably the kids were playing around and they ended up losing the nut or something. Okay, so there's that, and then I got one more nut to get this tight. Tight, and I'm going to put another nut on to kind of keep the first one in place. Probably not necessary. Gives a little bit of insurance. Okay, and that is it right there. That works perfectly. Oh man, I love it when a plan comes together. But yeah, so there we go. That is the whole project put together right like that. Just looks like the other one. So has a little seam there. And I think that is it. I think I need to wiggle that or tighten that a bit. But yeah, so that was a successful project from start to finish. Thanks for watching, everybody.